Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the EV Side. I'm Simon and today I'm in an Audi E Tron. Driven it various different places, so motorway, country roads, haven't been kind to it I suppose, is the perfectly good honest. I'm going to go through some specs, we're going to take a look around the car and I'll give you my initial thoughts. Got normal LED lights, quite a good selection around here, big sweeping lights here. 20-inch rims, wheels, huge wheels, likely going to cost quite a fortune to replace these, but bear that in mind. Big old wheels. It's a big car in general. You have a DC 150 kilowatt and a Type 2 in here as well, so for charging on the right hand side of your car. Looking down the car, again it's quite good styling with the e-tron badge logos. This particular one in white and grey has got a good look. Again, you've got the normal Audi sweeping LEDs you can see. It fits donuts in, so even better. Also fits my skateboard in, which is perfect. But a huge boot, pretty good size, very good. And then under here, even more space as well. You push the button on here to close. So again, and the e-tron styling, I don't particularly like this particular bit, it looks a little bit cheap. And looking down, it's got the normal sweeping styling. And on this side, we've got the AC. So this is just a Type 2 11 kilowatt charger. And on the other side, like I said, it's DC. But these particular ones, I can see, this is all right. These have got issues. We're not going to look in the front. The front is pointless. It's tiny. It fits a cable in. And let's face it, why not put your cables in the boot? So let's start with specs. So this is an 83 kilowatt hour battery. Approximate range is 220. If you compare that to the current Kona, it's a little disappointing that it's got a 64 kilowatt hour battery and that gets over 300. So bear that in mind if you're buying this. This is a large SUV and is refined with all the normal Audi requirements. So inside you'll have the lovely Audi steering wheels. You've got 3 big, relatively good screens, although fingerprints is going to be a nightmare on these things. Inside you've got all the normal stuff you'd expect. There's a quite an interesting different gear changing on here for your reverse, drive and neutral. You have wireless contactless charging for your phone down here. One of the really good points I liked about this is that if you actually leave your phone in the car and you open the door, that will actually tell you you've left your phone in, so quite a good little feature. Plenty of compartments and plenty of room under here, and really it's kind of as you'd expect from Audi. Really nice build quality, all the shiny stuff. The materials are really good and well used. If you've owned an Audi before, then generally you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. I've had several Audis in the past and you know what you're getting for that type of quality. Now, for the size of this car, performance is pretty good. 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds, which for this size, it shifts. It's not a slouch on the motorways. I've put my foot down and it does move. It's quite nimble on country roads as well, so it will cope with the best conditions, in all honesty. It's all-wheel drive and a sizable car. Now, charging wise, you've got 2 sides of the front of the car. One is an AC 11 kilowatt normal Type 2 connector. On the right hand side you've got a Type 2 which is 11 kilowatt, but also you've got a 150 kilowatt DC charger as well. So they're operated on both sides. Automatic flaps that you press the button, they open out and you plug in. These, depending on where the charger is though, that you could run into some problems with that, but it's not a deal breaker. So cargo space at the back of the car, in the boot, 660 litres, so a quite sizable boot. More than enough room for families and things like that. I have a child seat in the back and there's more than enough space, so if you've got a family, these are ideal. So let's look at the points that I like first before we get into what I don't like about the car. So what I like about the car, unfortunately, is all based within the car. It's the tech. It's got some lovely screens. The The satellite navigation system is intuitive. It's based on Google Maps, and it's everything you expect. It's responsive. Everything is. The screens actually have a tactile feel, so when you press the button on the touchscreen, it feels like you're actually pressing a real button. My biggest complaint on all of those is that there could be too much, but we'll come back to that. The other things that I like, I mentioned earlier around the wireless charging for your phone. There's plenty of space in here. It's, you know, it's good designed. The size of the car is good. So the performance as well. So the performance, I would say, is top notch. I mean, it's, again, you're looking at Audi heritage. Unfortunately, they've built in a lot of some of the bad things of Audi heritage, but Audi in general do good cars, and this is no exception. There are some downsides, and we're now going to come on to those. So price is the first and big and foremost. This is a £70,000 car for a standard version of this car. The standard version comes with a lot of the bells and whistles. Doesn't come with the video wing mirrors, which you'd expect. Doesn't come with some of the performance packs and things like that. That's on the 80,000 plus model, which to me is insane. I really can't see where £70,000 have gone on this car. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice car, but for £70,000 you can get so much more. There's so many other model cars out there that have really got more to offer than this has. One of the biggest downsides for this is that they've built it not from the ground up as an electric car. There's many Q parts from the older ranges of these type of models of Audis, and that shows through and through, from the parts they're using on the actual body, the wheels, everything like that. It's not that they're bad, it's just the fact that they're not built for EVs in mind, which makes this a very, very heavy SUV with a battery on it. So if you look at many other cars that are being built for electric, they're usually built from the ground up. Otherwise, it's going to be what most manufacturers unfortunately are doing now, is like this, is let's take what we existingly have, we'll stick a battery on it and see if it works. Now unfortunately, e-tron, it doesn't work. It's too heavy, it's got a massive battery in it, and you're not getting the performance out of it. 220 miles in a car this size, whilst if that was a 64 kilowatt hour battery offering that, I wouldn't have a problem. It's an 85 kilowatt hour battery in this car for 200 miles. That's not good enough. In terms of the battery usage, this thing just guzzles battery energy up like you wouldn't believe. Going on a motorway, going on normal roads and things like that, doesn't matter what you're trying to kind of driving you're doing, it will just guzzle the hell out of that battery. So it's lacking in terms of that performance in usability of that battery energy. Performance in terms of driving is brilliant, but that side of it is just, unfortunately, it's just a bit of a letdown. There's a couple of things as well. So the thing to mention, I mentioned about the 3 screens. My biggest problem with the 3 screens, unfortunately, is that there's almost too much information. Now I know that sounds crazy, but in front of you you've got a very nice display with all the stuff that you'd expect, but there's too much in it. There's too much information. The screens down the side of you are a bit of a distraction, but why not have just one screen? Minimalize it. There's plenty of cars out there are doing it now. There's just too much information for you. I personally think it's going to be a distraction. For me, it's not going to be a goer for me. It's too expensive for what it is. There's plenty of other options out there for the money. The performance on your battery should be a lot better. Unfortunately, I didn't have the best experience with Audi in getting this car, so that hasn't helped. I won't go into details around that, but if I was paying money for this, it would have been a no straight away, even without the car. But this is a too expensive SUV. If you're looking to upgrade from a petrol Audi, it may be the car for you. It may be your natural progression into EVs, in which case, enjoy. You're probably already thinking about something like this in this price range. If you're not and you're going for an EV straight away, personally I think to avoid this. There's many other makes and models out there. Do your research, do test drives on EVs straight away, get the best one that suits you. Personally, if I was buying this, it just wouldn't be a fit for me, for the money, for what you're getting for your money, and generally the kind of build of the car. So anyway, that's my review.
I'll put some specs as well in the details below. As always, thank you very much for watching. If you did like this video, please like, share and subscribe. If you like to do so, please check out my Patreon page. That just goes some way to help me make these videos and hire more cars to do reviews like this. But until next time, thank you very much. Goodbye.